Hello and bienvenue to Life's Questions and Lessons, the 5-minute self-reflection podcast. I'm your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. Let's get started with today's question. What disappointments are you still carrying? What disappointments are you still carrying? So we just started a brand new series all about what are you still carrying? And so if you haven't already started with the series intro, highly recommend you start there just to kind of ground yourself in what we're talking about, some of the things that we're going to cover. But today we're talking about disappointments. So I kind of talked about a little bit of this as I was exploring this kind of concept of what I'm still carrying for myself. And there are definitely some disappointments that I have not let go of. And it's interesting because this podcast and this platform that I really feel like I share with you, I'm learning just as you're learning. I know how to practice self-reflection. I am very, very good at asking myself very powerful questions, which is what I share with you, but I'm still on the journey. So, I'm sharing the lessons that I've learned, I'm sharing the questions that I've learned, but sometimes it's the ones that I'm learning. And so as you're exploring this question in whatever way works best for you, really think about that. Sometimes that can give me some comfort where I feel like there's no finish line. There's definitely ways of improvement that I think that I'm looking for within myself, and how I kind of deal and move in the world, the way that I think, the way that I treat myself when some of these things come up. But there's definitely some disappointments, I would say, at the top of my list that I'm still carrying. Um, my personal life, my boundaries, one of my mentors was just talking about this the other day. I have very, very strong boundaries. I know how to say no without any obligation, any guilt, any reasoning. I know that how to put myself first. There's a lot of quote unquote success within myself and my personal life that I'm very, very proud of. But in my professional life, it doesn't look that way, right? A lot of the success that I have had and continue to have and garner is internal. And our society that we all live in is not very keen on internal wealth, right? Not very keen on who you are inside. It's more about what's going on, the accolades, if you will. And even though I don't necessarily want accolades, there is a certain level of success that I feel the podcast should be at. There's a certain level of success that I think a lot of my other projects, like my speaking engagements, my workshops, retreats, etc., there's a certain level that I feel like all of those things should be at, and they're not. And that's just the reality, right? And it's a hard pill to swallow because I really put my heart and soul into this work, and to not kind of have the, what do you call it? Like the fruits of my labor. It's very disappointing. So I have a lot of work ahead of me to really reframe that, right? Understanding that you're disappointed at something is one thing. Staying disappointed in something is a whole other. And carrying that disappointment with you day over day, month over month, year over year is not helping you. It is not helping you become who you were meant to be, which is really what matters. So I'm definitely taking that in and exploring these kind of thoughts and insights that come through. And I really hope the same for you. Whatever way you explore, we just started our guided journaling sessions. That's obviously my favorite way to explore these questions. But no matter what you do, ask yourself this question in curiosity, not judgment. Give yourself the self-compassion that you deserve and that you're worthy of. So, and be patient. This journey sometimes is you'll be working on a question in self-reflection for months, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what I need to do. So just be kind to yourself and patient as well. And as always, thank you so, so much for listening. Thank you for your feedback. It really helps me know that I'm not just speaking into the ether, that you really are finding value in what I'm doing. So thank you. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening or watching me speak these words. And if this episode, this series, this podcast has been helpful for you in any way, please share it. We are here on this planet to help each other. So if it was helpful for you, it's probably going to be helpful for someone else. And until next time, take care.